and welcome to Authentic Me, episode 6. Yes. Oh my God, I have to use 2 hands now. We're on episode 6 today. I am your host, Sunny Lamba, the creator of Authentic Me. And today we are going to talk about shame. So, this is a very heavy topic that I have picked, and I'm hoping to bring some awareness around how we think about ourselves and how it affects everything in our life, everything. So that's what we're going to talk about today. My name is Sunny. I'm coming to you live from Calgary, Canada. And first of all, first and foremost, I want to say Happy Remembrance Day and Happy Veterans Day. It is Remembrance Day in Canada and Veterans Day in the US. So I want to say thank you to each and everyone who has served our countries. We don't know them all, but we definitely owe them all. So just want to start with that. As you guys hop on, say hello. I am using StreamYard, so there's a link in the description. You got to give permission to StreamYard so that I can see your name and your comments as you guys pop on. So today we are talking about shame and how shame costs us so much money. And as you see this topic and you read it and you probably are like, what is she talking about? How can shame cost us money? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'll talk all about how and what do I really mean by that? And what does shame mean? So we'll talk about what is shame, what does it mean? How do we experience it? How do we internalize it? And how, in the long run, it's affecting everything in our life, our financials, our relationships, our success, our health, every single thing. So it comes and it goes into every area of our life. That's what we are talking about today. Okay, so where did this come from? I was listening to Brené Brown's podcast where she talked about shame and guilt around racism. So she was talking about racism, but as I was listening to this podcast, I was like, oh my God, this relates so much to our self-image and relates too much to every aspect of our life. Even though she was focusing on just one area of our life, when I heard it, I'm like, this is so important and everyone needs to understand this. So let's talk about that. What is shame? So this definition is by Brené Brown, the one she gave in the podcast, and it has come from her decades of research on shame. She's a shame researcher. So this is how it goes. Let me just read it out to you. Shame is an intensely painful feeling that we are flawed and therefore unworthy of love, relationships, respect, or connection. So see how powerful that is. It's an intensely painful feeling that we are, which comes from the fact that we think that we are flawed. And I mean, we're talking about here authentic me. So of course, if we are perceiving ourselves as flawed human beings, then shame is definitely a part of it. And that is why then we feel that we are unworthy of love, we are unworthy of success, we are unworthy of a relationship, we are unworthy of happiness, or unworthy of money, abundance. So that is how deeply rooted shame is. And where is the shame coming from? Well, the shame comes from our environment. Starts at a very young age, coming from our parents, our caretakers, our guardians, then the society, the religion, state, right? So it comes from all of those places. That's where shame is coming from. And unfortunately, even humans are social beings, and we are so impacted by everyone around us that it really affects on our behavior, because shame has a very big connection with fear of judgment. Do you think so? Tell me in the comments that if you feel that shame comes from fear of judgment. We feel ashamed of ourselves or self-shame ourselves. Self-shaming comes because we are scared of others judging us, the fear of judgment, which is one of the biggest fears all humans have. And it's totally understandable because we are social beings and we like to be liked. We want others to like us. We want to be loved and liked and respected. And when that fear of judgment comes, we alter our behavior. We alter our behavior because we want to be accepted. We want to be accepted by our friends, by our family, by our followers on social media, anything. So that's how deeply rooted shame is. And because we want to be accepted, that fear of judgment, so we feel shame when something happens. And we'll talk about some examples. So, why am I saying that shame is so important when it comes to success? And why self shaming is costing us money? Because it all comes down to how we talk to ourselves about what's happening around us or about what happened. So let's use an example. Let's say that it's Friday night and Saturday morning you have a meeting. Let's say, so most of my followers, I know you, most of you are network marketers or online entrepreneurs. So Saturday morning, let's say you have a meeting, your business meeting or something, and then Friday night you decide to go out with friends. Okay, well, we are in COVID times, we don't go out as much, but let's say Friday nights you decide to get drunk, and then you wake up late in the morning and you are late for your meeting. So what is the first thought? The first thought that pops up in your mind is, I'm so stupid. I am so stupid. I'm always late. I'm always irresponsible. So you see what we are doing here. We are going into generalization. When we say, I am always, always is an absolute. You're not always late. You're not always irresponsible, but that is how you're talking to yourself. So you are self-shaming. You're shaming yourself. So, what is shame? Shame is I am bad. Guilt is I did something bad. And there's a huge difference between shame and guilt. It is better if we go with the guilt feeling rather than the shame feeling. Why? Because shame undermines change. So shame means that you're not going to change because you are talking about yourself. I am so stupid. I am always late. So you're talking in absolutes, which means you are literally talking about your self-image, about your core. But that's not what you are. You just had one time when you did something wrong or you did something irresponsible. So when you say, oh, instead of saying I'm stupid, I'm irresponsible, what you want to say is, oh, that was totally a wrong decision and I'll be more careful next time. See how now we can change. And we are looking at growth mindset, because when you say, oh, I just did something wrong, or I just did something that was, not in alignment, then you are more prone to change. You're more acceptance. There is more acceptance to change. You are okay that, okay, you know what? It happened. But that's not me. And I can change that. So that's what it is. So that's just an example. Let's use another example. So most of you, I know, are moms. So if you're a mom, you can probably relate to this. Let's say that your kid, no, I'm going to use a different example. I'm going to use an example of a school or a teacher. Let me know if you relate to this one. So let's say there's a test in the class and one kid failed. Okay. So the teacher comes and she walks in and she's like, okay, I got the test results. It was amazing results. Everyone did really great. But we have one person who failed. Can anyone guess who that is? And everyone knows that which kid probably failed. Why? Because this teacher has shamed this poor kid 100 other times. Or she says, who can guess that it's Brittany? Sorry, just putting a name out there. Who can guess that it's Matt? Put your hands up. Who can guess that Matt failed the test? Imagine Matt sitting in that classroom, a little 10-year-old kid or 11-year-old kid. What does he feel? He wants to just hide. He just wants to go into that cocoon. And he's like, oh, shame. She is publicly shaming that kid. Would you, as a parent, accept that? How would it make you feel if someone publicly shamed your child like that? What happens? Now Matt thinks that, oh, I'm a failure. I always fail. I'm a failure. Everyone knows I'm a failure. Instead of that, what the teacher could do is first, don't even name it, give the tests, and then have a one-on-one conversation with Matt on how we can help, how we can move forward. It's okay. This was just one test. It happened. Let's see how we can come up with a plan so we can move forward. Right? So that's two different ways of dealing with it. So if you cannot accept your child to be treated like this, then why would you treat yourself like that? Why would you shame yourself like that? So self shaming really goes hand in hand with self image. So when you are totally every single day shaming yourself, saying, I am not good enough, I am not worthy, I am stupid, I am always late, I can never get everything done, I can never get any sales, I don't attract the right people, people don't want to buy from me, you are changing your self image at a subconscious level. And when you have that self image, which says that, oh, I'm anyways not good enough, then how do you think you're going to act? You're going to act in alignment with your self image. So that is how deep self shaming goes. You have to be more aware of how you're talking to yourselves. You have to realize that instead of saying, I am so stupid, or oh, I always do this, you should say, okay, I can't believe that I did this, but let's move on. I made a mistake. How can I compensate? Or how can I move forward and make sure this doesn't happen again? Now you're coming from a place of already being ready to change and accepting that it's okay to have one time behavior that was not the right behavior, which is fine, totally fine, right? So when you focus on the behavior and not yourself as the person, you can bring a lot of change and you can now be successful and do whatever you want to do. So let's talk about another example. As I said, so most of you here are entrepreneurs. Tell me if you relate to this example. But let's say that as part of your business, network marketing business, or if you're a coach, you have to get new people. Hey, Chelsea, thanks for hopping on, girl. Yes, I love it too. So you have to connect with new people. You have to make connections. But you in your mind are always thinking, oh, I can never make connections. I'm not good at making connections. No one wants to talk to me. I don't give enough value to people. I'm not good enough. What do you think if you're thinking like that? What is your action going to be like? You're not going to reach out to people. You're not going to have conversations with people. Why? Because you're already thinking that I'm not good at making connections. People don't want to talk to me. People don't think that I provide enough value, right? So when you are already thinking like that, you're not going to take action because that's your self image. Now, let's change that and let's stop self shaming and let's change that to I provide a lot of value. Look at instances in your life where you've helped someone. Use that as a jumping ground or a takeoff place and say, oh, I provide a lot of value. That one time I helped my friend. That one time I helped my brother or my sister, right? So use those solid examples from your life where you have helped others, provided value to them, and then say, I have tremendous value to offer. I am limitless. I am enough. I make great connections. Look at all the friends you have in your life and see the connections that you have, the relationships that you have, and then say, I am capable of having very deep relationships. I am capable of having amazing connections with people. So when you are talking like that to yourselves, you're not self-shaming, you're coming from a place of embracing change, then you are going to be like, okay, I can talk to 5 people today. And even if those 5 people don't respond, it's okay because at a very deep subconscious level, you believe that you can make connections. You believe that you have value to offer. So even if these people didn't want that value, maybe it's not the right time, or maybe they're not my kind of people, let me move on. So instead of shame, be empathetic towards yourself. Empathy is what you want. So if something wrong happens, let's say you, going back to the same example, that you have a meeting Saturday morning, but Friday night you decide to get drunk and you wake up late and you miss your meeting. So instead of saying, shaming yourself and saying, I am so stupid, you can say, oh, I'll make sure that never happens again, right? Just love yourself, embrace yourself. It's okay. We all have flaws. We all make mistakes. It's totally fine. Yes, it could be a very important meeting, but you can always go back and say, I am so sorry, I missed the meeting. Now, if you're conducting that meeting, I am hoping that you're at a level where you won't be late. But even if that happens, that's okay. It's okay. I have done that. Seriously, I have done that, where I didn't get drunk, but I worked late night. I don't get drunk. Those days are gone. Sorry. But I worked late into the night or something, or movie night, and then I was leading the meeting and I got like 10 minutes late or 5 minutes late. My alarm went off. I didn't hear it. Like, I woke up and I was like, shit, sorry, excuse my language. And I was like, right away, first thing, sent a message, I'm so sorry. I'll be right on. I'm hopping on right now. Right. And then you come on, you say, sorry, my alarm didn't go off. But so that's the right way to do it, and say, let's go, let's get this done. Instead of saying, oh, I am so stupid, I always do this. Don't talk in absolutes. Don't shame yourself. Because when you shame yourself, you're actually going into that negative self-image. So that's the steps you take one by one to create that positive self-image. And once you have a positive self-image, you are now creating abundance. You're now taking the steps, the actions that you need to be successful, that you need to go to the next level, that you need to create that $1 million business that you want to create. So because of your self-shame, you're losing all that money. That is waiting for you. It's yours. It's already out there in the universe. It's just waiting for you to have it in your hand, to be physically present in your life. Abundance is all around you. But you need to get to that level. You need to raise your vibration and come to that level where you are so sure of yourself and you're so sure of what you deserve that nothing can stop you. So that's it for today. It was a very short and sweet topic. Next week, I have a very, very powerful story. My guest, she's sorry, guys. That's my alarm for my next meeting. I have a really powerful guest, and she has a story that's going to touch your heart. How she went from, how she used her or overcame her physical deformity to later on create a $1 million business. It's a very empowering story. I love and respect this woman so much. So that is next Wednesday. I'll see you guys on there. By the way, I do have all my videos on YouTube. So make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is in my link. And also I have a Facebook group in which you will find more trainings just like this one. We go even deeper than what we talked about here. So if you want to be a part of the group, do let me know. Put group in the comments and I'll add you. Thank you so much, everyone who hopped on. Have a beautiful and amazing rest of the day. Enjoy your Remembrance Day, Veterans Day, and have a beautiful sunny life and be authentic.